Let me tell you something right now. Average is a disease. It's a mindset that keeps people stuck, a comfort zone that kills dreams, a cage that most never escape from. And if you're listening to this, I know one thing for sure. You were not put on this earth to be average. You were not designed to live in mediocrity, settling for just enough, playing small because that's what society expects of you. Look around. Most people are sleepwalking through life. They wake up, go to jobs they hate, come home, numb themselves with distractions, and repeat the cycle. No passion, no fire, no hunger. And then they wonder why they're unfulfilled, why they feel stuck, why they look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back at them. But not you. You feel it in your bones. You were made for more. And I'm here to tell you, that feeling is real. That hunger inside of you, it's not an accident. It's your soul screaming at you to wake up, to stop settling, to go after what you were meant to be. So, what separates the great from the average? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's mindset. The great ones decide, deep in their core, that they will not be like everybody else. They make a choice that nothing, and I mean nothing, will stop them. But making that choice is just the beginning. You've got to be willing to step into the fire, to embrace discomfort like it's your best friend. Average people avoid pain. They run from struggle. But the extraordinary, they seek it out. They know that on the other side of pain is power, on the other side of struggle is strength. When you push yourself beyond what you thought was possible, you unlock something inside of you, a new level of confidence, a new level of drive. And suddenly, the things that used to scare you, they don't anymore. The obstacles that used to stop you, you crush them. Because here's the truth, action is everything. You can have the biggest dreams, the greatest vision, the most incredible ideas, but if you don't execute, if you don't take relentless, unstoppable action, it means nothing. The world does not reward potential. It rewards results. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. But you do have to move. You have to decide. You have to bet on yourself when no one else will. And listen, I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your past looks like, what mistakes you've made, how many times you've failed. That is not your identity. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not own you. Your circumstances are not an excuse. They are fuel. The people who change the world are the ones who refuse to let their story be written by someone else. They grab the pen, they rip out the pages, and they start writing a new chapter. That is who you are. That is what you were made for. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't born to be average. You were born to be great. And now, it's time to prove it. There was once a young boy who grew up in a small town where no one believed in dreams. His parents worked hard just to get by, and every day, he heard the same things. Be realistic. Don't aim too high. Life isn't fair. He watched as the people around him settled for a life of limitations, for mediocrity, for just enough to survive. And for a while, he believed that was his fate too. But deep inside, something didn't sit right. Something in his soul refused to accept that this was all there was. That feeling, that burning fire inside, wasn't unique to him. It's inside all of us. That whisper in your heart that says, I was meant for more. But here's the truth. Most people ignore that voice. They silence it with doubt, with fear, with the opinions of others. They settle because it's easier, because it's safer, because the world has convinced them that greatness is reserved for the lucky few. But the ones who truly rise, the ones who create legendary success, they don't silence that voice. They amplify it. They feed it with belief. They make the decision that they are not like everyone else. And that decision, that's where everything changes. Because before success shows up in your bank account, before it shows up in your career, before it shows up in the world, it has to show up in your mind. Champions are built from the inside out. Their victories don't start when they hold up a trophy or sign $1 million deal. Their victories start long before, in the moments when no one is watching, in the moments when they decide that failure is not an option. The world will tell you to be practical, to take the safe route, to not get your hopes up. But let me ask you something. Who built the tallest buildings? Who invented the technology that changed the world? Who stood in front of thousands and inspired generations? It wasn't the ones who played it safe. It was the ones who had an unshakable belief that they were meant for something greater, the ones who refused to be average. Look at every great champion, every world-class entrepreneur, every person who has ever left a legacy. They all have one thing in common. They believed in themselves long before anyone else did. They had a vision of who they could be, and they refused to let the world tell them otherwise. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when people laugh at your dreams, when circumstances make you question whether you're good enough. But that's the test. That's the moment that separates the winners from the quitters. Because the truth is, every champion has faced failure. Every champion has been knocked down. Every champion has felt fear. But what makes them different is that they get back up. They keep going. They look in the mirror and remind themselves, I was made for more. Let me tell you something powerful. Your brain will fight you. It will try to keep you comfortable. It will try to keep you in the same habits, the same patterns, the same life you've always had. Because that's what the mind does. It protects you from risk. But risk is where growth happens. The greatest athletes in the world don't train when they feel like it. The greatest entrepreneurs don't work only when inspiration strikes. The greatest leaders don't lead only when things are easy. They show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not, because they have trained their minds to be stronger than their emotions. Most people quit the second it gets hard. The second they feel discomfort. The second things don't go as planned. But champions? They push through. They know that the mind will scream for them to stop, and they don't listen. Because success isn't about feelings, it's about commitment. Think about the people you admire the most. The ones who have built empires, broken records, changed lives. Do you think they never had bad days? Do you think they never felt like giving up? Of course, they did. But they made a promise to themselves that their dreams were bigger than their excuses. And that's what you have to do. You have to decide that nothing will stop you. That no setback, no rejection, no failure will break you. That when the world tells you it's impossible, you will smile and prove them wrong. But belief isn't just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about backing it up with action. It's about proving to yourself every single day that you are who you say you are. It's about doing the work when no one is watching, about going the extra mile when no one is clapping, about building the discipline to keep moving forward even when the results aren't showing up yet. Because here's the truth. Success isn't magic. It's not reserved for the lucky. It's not about talent or intelligence or who you know. It's about a relentless, unshakable belief that you were made for more, and then doing whatever it takes to turn that belief into reality. You weren't put on this earth to be average. You weren't designed to settle for a life that doesn't set your soul on fire. There is something inside of you that the world needs. But the only way to bring it to life is to believe in yourself before anyone else does. So make the decision today, right now, that you will not be one of the ones who let fear win. That you will not listen to the voices that tell you to be realistic. That you will stand up, take control, and step into the greatness that is already inside of you. Because you were not born to be like everyone else. You were born to be a champion. There is a place where dreams go to die, where potential is wasted, and where greatness is suffocated before it ever has a chance to breathe. That place is the comfort zone. It's warm, it's familiar, it's safe. But it's also a prison. A silent, invisible force that holds people back from the life they were meant to live. Most people spend their entire existence trapped in this place. They settle for jobs they don't love, relationships that don't fulfill them, routines that don't challenge them. Why? Because stepping outside of it is terrifying. Because the unknown is uncomfortable. Because struggle is painful. But here's the truth. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve something extraordinary, if you want to see what you are truly capable of, you must destroy the comfort zone. You must be willing to step into the fire of discomfort and embrace the pain that comes with it. Look at the people who have built empires, who have broken records, who have changed the world. Do you think they did it by staying comfortable? By avoiding struggle? By playing it safe? No. They put themselves in situations that forced them to level up. They took risks when no one else would. They leaned into the fear, the pain, the uncertainty, and they kept moving forward. Because they knew that every moment of discomfort was shaping them into something stronger. There is no growth in comfort. Muscles don't get stronger unless they are torn apart. Minds don't get sharper unless they are challenged. People don't evolve unless they are forced to. The most powerful version of you, the one who is unstoppable, unbreakable, and limitless, will only emerge when you are willing to push yourself past the point where most people stop. Think about this. The first time you do something new, it feels impossible. The first time you step into a gym, your muscles scream in pain. The first time you stand on stage, your heart races with fear. The first time you take a risk in business, your mind is flooded with doubt. That is your comfort zone fighting back. That is the moment when most people retreat, when they tell themselves, maybe I'm not ready, when they go back to what is safe, to what is easy. But the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who push through that resistance, they are the ones who change everything. Because the magic happens right after the moment you feel like giving up. The moment you push through the pain, the moment you lean into the discomfort, the moment you refuse to surrender, that's when you level up. That's when you grow. People want success, but they don't want to suffer for it. They want the rewards, but they don't want the sacrifice. They want to be great, but they don't want to go through the fire that forges greatness. And that's why so few ever reach their full potential, because they are unwilling to embrace the struggle that comes with it. If you want to destroy your comfort zone, you have to make a habit of doing what scares you. You have to wake up every single day and put yourself in situations that force you to grow. You have to make pain your best friend, because pain is the key to transformation. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the more unshakable you become. Success isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's about looking at the challenge in front of you and deciding that nothing will stop you. It's about making failure a part of the journey, not something to be afraid of, but something to be grateful for, because failure is proof that you are pushing your limits. Think about every major breakthrough in your life. Every time you achieved something you once thought was impossible, there was a moment when you had to step beyond what was comfortable. Maybe it was leaving a job that no longer fulfilled you. Maybe it was walking away from a toxic relationship. Maybe it was speaking up when your voice was shaking. Whatever it was, you had to step into the unknown. And on the other side of that fear, you found strength you didn't even know you had. That's the secret. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more unstoppable you become. The things that once scared you will become normal. The challenges that once felt impossible will feel like just another step in your journey. And before you know it, you'll look back at the person you used to be and realize that you are completely unrecognizable. But here's the catch. If you don't make discomfort a habit, your comfort zone will shrink. If you don't keep pushing yourself, you will start settling again. That's why growth is a lifelong process. That's why you must constantly be looking for new ways to challenge yourself. Because the second you stop evolving, you start dying. It won't be easy. There will be days when you want to quit. There will be moments when the fear feels overwhelming. There will be times when you wonder if it's worth it. But that's exactly when you must keep going. Because the life you want, the success you dream of, the person you are meant to be, it's all waiting for you on the other side of your comfort zone. So don't wait. Don't let another day pass living a life that is smaller than what you are capable of. Step into the discomfort. Embrace the struggle. Destroy the limits that have been holding you back. Because the greatest version of you is waiting to be unleashed. And the only thing standing in your way is your willingness to break free. Everyone has a dream. Everyone has a vision of the life they want, the success they crave, the impact they wish to make. But look around. How many actually achieve it? How many people take that dream and turn it into something real? The truth is, most people don't. Not because they aren't capable, not because they don't have potential, but because they never take relentless action. There is a massive difference between wishing for something and working for it. Dreamers talk. Achievers move. Dreamers wait for the perfect moment. Achievers create it. Dreamers hope for success. Achievers hunt it down with everything they've got. Every person who has ever built something extraordinary has one thing in common. They did not wait. They did not hesitate. They did not let fear, doubt, or uncertainty stop them. They took action. massive, relentless, unstoppable action. Most people fail, not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they never execute. They make excuses. They tell themselves they need more time, more resources, more knowledge. But action is the only thing that moves the needle. No plan, no idea, no strategy will ever be worth anything if you don't take action. Think about the people you admire, the ones who broke barriers, the ones who made history, the ones who changed the game. Do you think they sat around waiting for everything to be perfect? Do you think they wasted years overthinking, second-guessing, or hesitating? No, they moved. They took risks. They failed, learned, adjusted, and kept going, because they understood that progress only happens when you do the work. Success does not reward the person who thinks the most. It rewards the person who acts the most. Because in the end, the world does not care about your potential. It cares about your results. And results only come from execution. So many people are stuck in the cycle of waiting. Waiting for the right opportunity. Waiting for the fear to go away. Waiting for the perfect conditions. But waiting is the fastest way to kill a dream. There will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a time when you feel 100% ready. And that's why you must act now. The most powerful force on this planet is momentum. When you take action, you create energy. You build confidence. You develop skills. And suddenly, what once seemed impossible becomes doable. What once felt like a dream becomes reality. But none of that happens if you stay still. The difference between the person who wins and the person who loses is simple. The winner kept going when the loser stopped. The winner took one more step, made one more call, put in one more hour, even when they didn't feel like it. Relentless action means doing what needs to be done, no matter what. It means waking up every single day with purpose, with intensity, with a fire inside that refuses to burn out. It means refusing to let excuses dictate your future. Some people wait to feel motivated. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is permanent. And discipline is built through action. The more you push yourself to execute, even when you don't feel like it, the stronger you become. Think about the last time you put something off. How much time did you waste? How much further would you be today if you had just started? How many opportunities slipped through your fingers because you hesitated? Now imagine what your life would look like if you committed, right now, to relentless action. Imagine what you could accomplish if you made a decision to never let another day pass without making progress toward your goals. The truth is, action eliminates fear. The things you're afraid of right now, the things that feel overwhelming, will become easy the second you start moving. Fear exists in the space between where you are and where you want to be. The second you step forward, fear begins to shrink. The second you take action, the doubts begin to fade. But you have to be willing to take that first step. And then another. And then another. Until taking action becomes your default setting. Until execution is no longer a choice, but a habit. Until you become the kind of person who does not wait, who does not hesitate, who does not stop. This is the secret to success that so many overlook. It is not the smartest person who wins. It is not the most talented. It is not the one with the best plan. It is the one who is willing to do the work every single day, without excuses, without hesitation, without stopping. So if you want to change your life, if you want to turn your dreams into reality, stop waiting. Stop planning without acting. Stop wishing without working. Get up. Move. Take the first step, and then take another. because the life you want is waiting, but it will only belong to the one who takes relentless action. There is a story you've been telling yourself, a story about who you are, what you're capable of, and what your life is supposed to look like. This story has been shaped by your past, by the experiences you've had, the failures you've endured, the opinions of others, and the beliefs you've carried for years. And for most people, that story becomes a prison, a set of invisible walls that define what they think they can and cannot do. But here's the truth: your past does not define you. Your mistakes, your failures, your struggles, none of them have the power to determine your future unless you let them. The only thing that truly shapes your destiny is the story you choose to write from this moment forward. Too many people live their lives chained to the past. They let their past disappointments convince them they're not good enough. They let their past failures make them afraid to try again. They let the pain, the regret, the setbacks become permanent instead of temporary. But those who rise, those who succeed, those who create something extraordinary, they understand that the past is only a lesson, not a sentence. Think about it. Some of the most successful people in the world have been through absolute rock bottom. They've lost everything, been rejected, been laughed at, been told they would never make it. But they refused to let their past define them. They made a decision to rewrite the story, to take control, to create a new identity, a new path, a new future. No matter where you've been, no matter what has happened, you have the power to change the direction of your life. But that change starts with a choice to stop identifying with the person you used to be, a choice to stop letting old failures hold you back, a choice to believe that you are capable of more. Some people think change is impossible. They believe they're stuck, that their circumstances are too difficult, that they've already gone too far down the wrong path. But history has proven, over and over again, that transformation is possible for anyone who is willing to take control of their story. Look at the greatest comeback stories. The athletes who were counted out, the entrepreneurs who went bankrupt, the people who had nothing and still built something massive. What made the difference? It wasn't luck. It wasn't resources. It wasn't an easy road. It was their refusal to accept that their past determined their future. Because at any moment, you can decide to change the narrative. You can stop seeing yourself as a failure. You can stop believing that you're not worthy. You can stop holding onto the things that have been holding you back. It starts in your mind. It starts with the way you talk to yourself, the way you see yourself, the way you define yourself. If you keep telling yourself the same old story, you'll keep living the same old life. But if you change the story, if you start speaking about yourself in a new way, if you start acting like the person you want to become instead of the person you've been, everything shifts. Most people underestimate the power of their choices. They think small decisions don't matter. They think one day of effort won't make a difference. But every choice you make is shaping your future. Every decision, no matter how small, is a step in a direction, toward success or toward regret. If you want to rewrite your story, you have to take ownership of those choices. You have to stop blaming your past, stop blaming other people, stop making excuses. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to rewrite your story for you. It is up to you to decide how this next chapter unfolds. And yes, it will be hard. Growth is painful. Change is uncomfortable. The process of becoming who you are meant to be requires shedding old habits, breaking old patterns, and stepping into the unknown. But the pain of change is nothing compared to the pain of regret. Think about where you could be a year from now if you fully committed to rewriting your story. Think about the person you could become if you stopped letting the past control you. Think about what your life could look like if you made the decision, right now, to take your power back. Because in the end, Your life is a story, and you are the author. You can keep living in the same chapters, repeating the same mistakes, staying stuck in the same cycles. Or you can turn the page and write something new, something powerful, something inspiring, something that proves you are bigger than your past, stronger than your failures, and capable of creating a future beyond anything you've ever imagined. So now the question is, what will you do? Will you let your past dictate your future? Will you let the failures, the disappointments, the setbacks hold you back? Or will you stand up and take control? Because at the end of the day, your life is in your hands. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of. You either take action, or you stay stuck where you've always been. The world is filled with people who gave up too soon, people who let the past define them, people who settled for less than they were capable of. But that is not your story. You are not here to be average. You are not here to live in regret. You are not here to be a prisoner of your past. You are here to rewrite your future, to rise, to transform, to become unstoppable. The greatest minds, the greatest achievers, the greatest success stories, they all had moments where they could have given up. They all had times when everything was stacked against them. They all had reasons to stop. But they didn't. They fought. They pushed. They refused to let their past define them. And because of that, they changed everything. Your pain can be your prison, or it can be your power. Your failures can be your excuses, or they can be your lessons. Your past can be your burden, or it can be your motivation. It's up to you. Maybe life has knocked you down. Maybe you've been through things that no one else can understand. Maybe you've had moments where you felt like giving up. But listen to me. You are still here. And if you are still here, that means your story is not over. That means you still have time to rewrite the ending. That means you still have time to prove to yourself and to the world that you are bigger than anything that has tried to break you. It won't be easy. But nothing worth having ever is. You will have to fight for it. You will have to push through the pain, the fear, the doubt. But every time you take a step forward, you are proving to yourself that you are stronger than your past. Every time you refuse to quit, you are showing the world what you are made of. And one day, you will look back at this moment and realize that this was the turning point. This was the moment you decided to take your life back. This was the moment you stopped making excuses. This was the moment you took control. Greatness is not given. It is earned. Success is not handed to you. It is fought for. And those who win, those who rise, those who rewrite their stories, they do it because they refuse to stay down. They do it because they believe in something greater. They do it because they know that no matter what has happened before, they still have the power to change everything. The only thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live is the decision to act. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when it's convenient. Now. Right now. Because the longer you wait, the further you drift from the person you were meant to become. So stand up. Step forward. Take control. Make the decision that from this moment on, your past is no longer your identity. Your failures are no longer your excuses. Your pain is no longer your limitation. This is your time. This is your moment. This is the beginning of your new story. And when the world asks how you did it, when they wonder how you turned everything around, when they look at you in awe, you will tell them, *I refused to let my past define me. I took control. I wrote my own destiny. And I never looked back. *.